can party all night. It's the best of the best, best friend weekend. We can party all night. We can party all night. It's the best of the best, best friend weekend. We can party all night. Shout out the whole podcast crew. Everybody already know what it do. When you really gotta kill it, ain't nobody gonna feel it. When you really gotta tell them it's my crew. It's best friend weekend. We can party all night. We got Ross moving, Los, Rumble, Aldo, Nice is the uncle.
A specific group to the front of the congregation. In my estimation, it's a combination of scariness, paranoia, and just blogging your mind with bullshit. It's a spectrum now. Them folks who got 100 straps, buying bullets every paycheck, 100 cameras around the house, or, just the person that's just all dicked out on the goddamn neighborhood app, you know what I'm saying? And with this just brings me to my next point. I'm not talking about the people that's in the inner city or the cities or a city where it really go down. I'm talking about America, dog. The towns under 150,000 people cities that make up America. The folk that never got in a physical altercation since 6th grade. The crime rate in their area is damn near non-existent. And, shit like that is just not quite of a reality. Maybe I'm too far on the other end, the other end of just not being scary, living in reality, and just taking shit how it comes, I don't know. It just throws me off, these people that live in this level of goddamn paranoia, dog.
I say, whoa, welcome to the Best Friend Weekend Podcast. It's your man, Aldo. Nice.
Wow, it's your boy Los, a.k.a. C.A.P.
Oh no, it's them again. It's them boys from In My Humble Opinion. Once again, I am Avery, like a very nice guy. I don't remember what my Twitter or anything. I just changed it, but it'll be on the thing. And that's my brother over there.
And I'm Just Devaughn.
Yeah,
that's it, man. Let's go to it.
I mean, Rumble never misses with the social commentary as far as making actual observations that make sense. Man, they got scary people out here in this world who populate the world, and it's sad. I mean, I think about this in the context of the Ukraine thing, the invasion, and how people talking about how they sending guns to all of the civilians. Man, they wouldn't need to send the guns to all the civilians in the United States.
Boy, it's plenty of boys already here, ready for Ukraine, ready for Russia to come over here with that nonsense.
Yeah,
we can actually shoot, or ready for too many black people to be in their neighborhood. It really doesn't matter. Either one is good.
They prepare for any.
You saw what happened with the riots with George Floyd. All the white people was online. I tell you what, if anybody come in my neighborhood, all right, white people, see what I got behind me.
Yeah,
like okay.
When them people was marching, you remember the people came in the front yard, that woman and her husband,
both of them pulled out guns for people walking by.
The funny part about that though, they'd be running scared if somebody like really came over here trying to kill them too.
Oh yeah,
the majority of them that was like that would be running scared if somebody was really trying to kill them too. I said the majority. I ain't say all of them. It's some of them who really want that. There's
the majority of kid that got scared and shot some people, but we're not going to talk about that kid.
Well, I saw a meme about him. They was like, why his mama don't go drop him to Ukraine? Come on, like, go drop him. Go do some damage, man.
Keep that same energy, my boy.
Keep that same energy. Yeah, but I mean, we're a country that's birthed on that. I think it's always funny, Devaughn. We're gonna lean in on your legal acumen a few times during this episode of the Best Friend Weekend, In My Humble Opinions crossover pod. But I'm going to start by saying this. Why do so many people lean in on the Second Amendment? Like that's the only one that matters in this country, bro.
I mean, honestly, it was the NRA, the Republicans really pushed. The Second Amendment is adjusted over time. Like there was a time in this country when it was just there, but we weren't speaking about it the way that we speak about it. And then there was a big orchestrated push to make the Second Amendment a thing. There were a few things coming out that party. Like it was the Second Amendment, it was abortion, and it was one other thing that they were just like, this is what we are now. Shortly after black people started, getting rights and being allowed in schools and stuff like that. So yeah, we just a gun-loving country. I don't know if we a tough country, but we're a gun-loving country. Like, you see the Ukraine, like, you saw the video of that Ukrainian woman that walked up to the Russians soldiers and was like, "Get out of my country." And then she gave them some sunflower seeds and was like, "Here, put these in your pocket, because when you die, it's gonna grow a nice tree." Like,
oh shit!
I don't know exactly. That's the thing. First of all, she ain't have not one gun on her. She looked like she was going to the store and stopped to just let the Russians know what's up. When you see their situation, I feel like it's different. If we got attacked right now, I don't think you would see Biden in full camo gear walking the streets. You know, with the like, their president stayed. Their president stayed like he was. Like, the president is the leader of the military, but my man is literally the leader of the military. Like, he's like, I ain't going nowhere.
That's some Braveheart shit.
We're just a overly, I don't like to say overly, but we are. We're just a heavily armored country. And I like guns, but we just got a lot of guns. And I'm in Texas, so we're all in Texas. You run across people in situations with guns, and I'm like, dang, what? Oh, okay. Everybody just keeps something on them.
It makes a lot of sense, but I would think that even with that being said, like you know what comes to mind is you said the tough country thing, and I'm thinking about it in the sense of like sports, like combat sports, how Americans don't usually be the toughest ones winning and shit like that. No. And that's what comes to my mind is like that if it was a gun shooting each other sport, then we'd probably be pretty decent at it.
Yeah, because it's not that we're like don't want to be tough. We just don't got the need to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes over here walking, they're hunting, they're having to do other stuff. We live in a world of convenience.
They don't got DoorDash like we got. I just ordered breakfast.
Our biggest complaint is a surcharge. They like, oh, they got Uber charging extra. I might have to get up and go. I'm not though. So yeah, we not a tough country like that.
I think we have a tough country, but I think like the old saying is no fat when the rabbit got the gun. I don't know if everybody's that tough when the rabbit got the gun. I don't think everybody. I think some people are, but I don't think everybody is as tough as they seem when the rabbit got the gun.
That's true.
Yeah, the stakes get high, and then people start cowering in fear, and that's a real thing. But I don't like what y'all just said. What you said?
I don't know, man. There's accident murderers. There's the people that you put in a position, and they're like, oh, well, now I have to do something. I'm not like the people that cower. Okay, but the accident ones, those are the ones that I'm like, all right. I like even now in a lot of situations, I'll be like, I'm sure these people have guns on them. But a lot of these niggas aren't who they say they are. So I need to chill out because they're going to want to push the issue and then be like, well, he from the suburbs. I don't know if he going to do anything. I will, nigga. But
I mean, plus the other thing is when people have guns, like you're always more comfortable around people if they're going to have a gun that know how to use a gun. Like, I feel like we all have friends that have a gun and like they took it out of the show. I'm like, dog, put that up. Like, I don't trust your abilities with a gun at all. Like at all.
Looking right in the barrel.
Yeah. Like, oh, they ain't got nothing in it. I was like, dog, put your gun up. Like, first of all, people that have guns and use them a lot barely be taking their guns out. Like, you be around somebody like, I didn't even know you had a gun. It was like, there was no need for you to know.
As a man, as specifically as a black man, specifically as somebody our age, I think that anybody could attest to this. And it's not even something that I wrote down at Burned Their Boudin, but growing up, anytime somebody would pull out a gun, I mean, shout out, this podcast brought to you by Dick Irwin. I remember Dick Irwin pulling out a gun one time and messing with it in an apartment. I was like, no, not you. Put that shit down. You gonna shoot me. But it's almost to a man. Any one of the homies pull out I remember being at Los house one time. He like, oh man, Chalky left this assault rifle, and he over there doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, put it down. Just put it down.
This is to the black men of America. Now, put your guns up. We've seen them.
We know what they are.
We've seen every gun, and I promise you too. When you're explaining to me the intricacies of your gun, I'm not listening. All I'm thinking is, dog, keep your finger off the trigger, please.
Or if you're going to do it, be the type of person who consistently pointing it away from both of us while you're saying, hey, look, so this is the blah, blah, blah.
They always make a mistake. They always.
Be like,
I was at a party.
You.
I'm at a party and my cousin, he's showing everybody his gun. The shit's pointed right at me.
Yeah.
I'm like, nigga.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I'm on the other side of the room. Oh, I'm like, all right, well, you're not safe.
Yeah.
Like,
No, put it up. That's the hey, put that thing up, man.
Because I just picture the person crying at my funeral. And I'm like, that's all I didn't even know. I was like, dog, kill him. He should be in the box with me.
To the niggas that fuck up constantly real big, like with shit like not just guns or things like that. There's some shit where the phrase "I'm sorry, dog" don't work. Nigga,
that's not one of them.
Yeah,
I'm taking one of your children.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm sorry. That's it.
My little brother, my sister brother got shot in the back like that in Grambling. Boy,
that's what I'm saying.
Playing with the gun, and he came. My sister drove out there flying. Went out there tried to hit her with my bad, and she towed the hospital up trying to get after that boy.
He said, my bad.
That boy left school, had to leave school, man. They're trying to kill him.
Our cousin got killed on the same thing.
Yeah,
same thing.
Yeah.
We all know somebody. Like I got an actual cousin who killed his brother. Like
that's the same thing.
Same thing.
But they were kids. They were like little kids. But still,
same thing.
These stories pervade culture. So I could always say that, man.
What was your cousin's name?
No, Mike.
This was cousin.
No.
Ours were teenagers.
Okay,
no. This was like 5 and 4 year olds. Like they were real kids.
Okay.
But
when I say kids, I'd be like kids.
It's guns. All of that to say guns is a problem. And if one of y'all like accidentally shot me, shit, that'll burn my Boudin, man. Look, let me tell you some other things that burn my Boudin this week, man. The first thing that burns my Boudin this week is the fact that kids feel like dumb shit is a privilege. And I'll give you some examples. For instance, a kid would be like, "Oh, I ain't got to put on my seatbelt," and they hype about that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I ain't got to brush my teeth. I ain't got to take a bath.
Ready to die.
Just hype.
Ready
to sit in the front seat.
Do you remember being a kid?
I was about to say that.
What are you talking about? You have no frame of reference. You're an idiot. You don't understand things. I was hype about stupid shit when I was a kid too, because I didn't know.
They wear seatbelts.
And
I love it.
And as a kid, you can't do nothing. We were training about little kids throwing temper tantrums, and the lady was like, "Hey, I know you mad at your child because you couldn't take it to McDonald's, but you told that nigga on Monday that you was gonna take it to McDonald's on Friday. This dude can't drive. He ain't got be like that was the highlight of his life."
Yeah. Yes.
And then you was like, "Oh man, they called me into work early this morning," and this dude is like, "What?" Like, first off, I've gotten up every day thinking about McDonald's, and now you're gonna do 5 minutes. I was like, "Oh, that's right. Y'all trash because y'all ain't got no life."
Hey, this is a perk of adulthood, and this is why this is so funny of a comment to me. This is why this is so funny. Because in my humble opinion podcast, I mean, for all intents and purposes, y'all out here bachelors, man. Y'all out here without kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Myself and Los, best friend weekend, we got cheering. We understand this from a different standpoint now. I do have that point of reference. I remember being like, I don't want to take a bath. Or like whatever the case is, I don't want to do this because it all feels like a chore. But when you're raising kids, it just feels stupid. It is, man. If you don't get your ass in there and wash your funky, mama say come wash it. I ain't that dirty. I'm gonna take a wash off in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, come on,
I went from being like that to taking 3 showers a day. Now I'm like, nigga, like I can't imagine.
And I don't know why. I feel like that's a boy thing. Like I don't understand.
Well, no.
Is it a girl thing too? The not wanting to take a shower. That's a girl thing too.
Girls do it until they realize the opposite sex, or somebody clown them at school, or like their friends clown them.
Let's say for boys, but my girls. I had an easy girl. It wasn't that bad. Like she ain't mind getting in and washing them. But other like getting excited about stupid shit, she had that very, 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 very bad. So it just depends on your kid. I had in my condo, I had a little pond in the middle. It was trash. It was the worst looking pond ever. But every time she came over and we had to go through the door, she wanted to go to the pond. And if I said, well, not tonight, it's dark, we can go in the morning. She's up at 6:30 at the crack of dawn, hitting me, telling, let's go to the pond. Yeah, it wasn't, the ducks was all dead. The man had captured the ducks and everything. One of more ducks out there. It was just water.
For real. There was an oil spill in my pond. All the ducks
he just did like a duck taking a dump on the concrete. It was like 25 ducks over there. And literally, at night, you hear them. We're out there working again.
Killing ducks.
I don't know. I don't want to say he killed them. I know they weren't there no more.
Yeah. They weren't. Yeah. You're not going to put that on. She done seen about 4 ponds in her life.
Exactly.
Okay? That's what that is, though. It's like, I was talking to my cousin the other day about dating. He's younger than me. And I was like, at a certain point, like, you're excited. You know, you'd be like, oh, my God, this girl liked me. I'm like, nigga, now I'll be like, that's cute. Whatever. Like, such a see fine, though. I'll be like, you don't understand everything that comes with this, sir.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, my God, titties. I'm like, it's Tuesday.
Yo, plus for frame of reference, I realized, and I told my brother this, all of my adult family members, like my aunts and uncles, that I thought was rich, was not. And all the ones that I thought was poor was rich. And it was because all the ones I thought were rich just had stuff that I liked. Like, you was like, oh, nah, this dude got a video game system.
Man, he got a stereo.
He is a billionaire.
He got a water bed.
And then I go over somebody's house that had money, and I'm like, man, all this dude got, like, what you need 3 bedrooms for? You got 3-4 bedrooms with beds in them for why? Like,
what you got wood on the floor? Who needs wood on the floor? Walk on wood.
Yeah, I want some carpet. Yeah, I can know.
Can't hoop on this. I ain't got no grip.
Exactly.
Man, it makes a lot of sense, man. Look, let me tell y'all the next thing that burns my boudin this week, and that is this one I don't know if it burns my boudin as much if it's just an observation. Okay, so let's keep it above board with this one, but it's this Adidas commercial that came out. It's the I'm Possible commercial, and it's like it's a praising of women athletes, and they come out and they're like, I'm possible. I could be a handicapped person. I could be this, I could be that, and all kind of different women and different whatever. In one part of the commercial, they said, I could be a trans athlete competing against women, and I'm strong and
I saw
Adidas.
That.
I was like, man, hold up. Or did they really just stand on that? Like that? That's such a deep societal issue that Adidas is like, I'm picking a side. If you're a trans woman, you could compete against women, and I just think that's a stance for Adidas, boy. I don't know what
do you wear men's or women's wear? If you sponsored by Adidas, which one do you wear?
I think they wear the women's.
You wear women's wear. You wear women's wear. That's why I said Baltimore.
It's a little, you got an issue in the front.
I do think.
Relax.
I said
I think the trans athlete issue is just going to change how it. And this is not me saying I agree or disagree. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't fully agree. I think it's going to change how we divide up and qualify sports. Because I feel like this is leading down a path where it's going to be strictly merit. Like, they're like, yo, look, this is like when it comes to boxing, when it comes to anything, like, yo, this is the class. This is like, we're going to base things on how hard you hit, how fast you run, and we're just going to have a class like that. Because I thought the trans issue would kind of fade out. And it appears to have it's really big in sports. Like, you find that that's kind of the main place. Like, you could talk about it for bathrooms, but the truth is American bathrooms are trash. We should all have single stall bathrooms. The door go from the top to the bottom. You just walk in, lock it. That's an American thing. I don't know who put up our bathrooms like this. Absolute trash. But either way, yeah, I said I don't understand this. Like, we like every bathroom should be a Buc-ee's. If y'all don't know Buc-ee's, go there. It's fantastic. But sports is like the last spot. Like, that's pretty much the main spot where it's like I have men and I have women competing, but now I have this new type of athlete that we're trying to figure out what's what. My biggest concern on some stuff is like the trans issue is hurting. Like you saw the black women that have been knocked in the Olympics because they like, oh, we did a DNA test and it turns out,
oh yeah,
I think you're more man than woman.
Chromosomal
like,
DNA type of thing.
Yeah. And so I was like, guy, how do getting rights for trans people, which a lot of times when I see the forefront are just white men becoming white women, how did that become black women got to get knocked now?
Yeah.
So I don't know where it's going to head, but right now, I don't even know how big of an issue it is. I just know that it is becoming the forefront of like marketing campaigns.
And that's kind of the thing that shot it out to me, the Adidas thing. And I just think that to piggyback on what you said, and not even to be long-winded, it just feels like it's going in the direction of we won't have gender classifications. It'll just be basketball. And there won't be a women's basketball. It'll kill women's sports. Like if you're a woman who good enough to play in the NBA, you come play. Like, but why have a WNBA if there are transgender athletes in there that's dominating, like Joanna Man type stuff, like, right? Like if the whole league got 15 Joanna Mans and then the women who are born women are like, I can't compete against them, then do you come up with a third league? Or do you just abolish that league altogether and say if you're good enough playing in the NBA? I think if they
make it linear and make it all one like that, I think you would have fewer people transitioning over to go play sports too.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a Los point that he's made on the podcast before, that he thinks that some women do that just to play sports. I don't think that's a thing.
Just to be good. I don't think you can't possibly think it's okay for a man. We already had a conversation before, but that's crazy. But some people are obsessed like that, and they will make the transition just so they can be good at that sport.
I think there are definitely people that have taken advantage of the situation when you're stepping in. There's no difference. There's a physical difference between men and women. That's not to say that women can't compete at a high level. That's not to say that there aren't women that compete at a high level as men. A lot of the times the sports we're talking about are like contact sports like football. We're talking about sports like basketball. We might not necessarily be talking about like weightlifting, where this is a one-on-one, this is a singular effort, and it don't matter what you are. If you can lift the weight, you can lift the weight. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you are. If you're a woman that can lift this weight, lift. You know what I'm saying? If you can beat out the men, that's fine. There's a championship weightlifter. I know she lifts more than me. But now watching this, like, I feel like the main thing we're looking at is like, when I hear this, it's always referring to me, basketball and football. Those are the main sports I feel like people are talking about the transgender issues in.
But no, we've seen it in swimming and lacrosse.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. You know what I mean? Too. It's a lot of people who out here.
Track and field.
And then my other thing about it is, I don't know how big the issue is, or if it's a thing where we have a small minority of people that are receiving a lot of press, because it's like possible. That, it's like that Simpsons episode where they're like, I'm a girl and I want to play football. And it's like, okay, like there are 3 girls over there on the football team. And they're like, oh, this don't really get press no more. Gotcha. So never mind, I don't want to play.
That's a recent season of The Simpsons. You watch?
I still enjoy The Simpsons.
God, when you I was like, wow.
I stick with the team that I came with. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go Oilers. I feel you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm on your booty any week, Al.
Well, wait till Brittany Griner get out of jail. She gonna be like, hey, NBA ready. After prison, give me that elbow, lay up.
The Brittany Griner thing is wild.
You're gonna be out here.
Like the Brittany Griner thing is wild because she was in jail for 3 weeks before we even knew. She probably, odds are, it would be my guess that she had nothing on her at all.
Yeah.
I don't think she had anything on her. I think it's one of those things. Russia is a very anti gay community. She has been playing there. If you're a WNBA player, you got to have 2 jobs. There's just no getting around it. She was playing in the WNBA. She go over and she plays for a team in Russia that she's been playing for a few years. They pay her 4 times the salary she'll be making in the WNBA.
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody, and I'm pretty sure all the speeches when you go overseas for every athlete is, hey, don't have nothing on you at all, especially in Russia. I find it interesting that all of a sudden, 3 weeks ago, she made a dire mistake at a point where Russia is going to war and they're going to need the U.S. to stay out of it. So,
well, and go back. I mean, I'm not gonna try to even stop you, but I'm just gonna put a pin in it and say this. Go back and listen to Best Friend Weekend last week. We went deep dive into this, and I'll just add this to it. I'll say that I think the Russians believe Brittany Griner is a bigger deal in the United States than the United States believes Brittany Griner is a bigger deal. I think and that's why I agree with you. I think they could set her up because they think, oh man, that's a superstar American athlete. And I think that America's like, oh, black woman, who cares? Like
they forgot how little we pay attention to black. I mean, look, we're in Houston. Houston had a 4-time dynasty with the Comets. When the WNBA started, the Comets won 4 times in a row. And then we sold them. That was it. Like in the middle of the night, we was just like, hey, dog.
That was fun.
Congratulations on y'all's wins. I gotta be honest.
I feel like Cynthia Cooper was working at Prospect Park the next week. Like, I
gotta be honest with y'all. Cynthia Cooper, all right, me and Devaughn, came up pretty decent, but not like NBA decent. Cynthia Cooper lived in our neighborhood.
That's saying a bit.
I was like, nigga, what? When her it's like her brother she adopted. He was like, yeah, Cynthia Cooper, that's like my guardian. I was like, she was right there.
Our neighborhood has so many. Like, if you were, we were not black excellence in our neighborhood. Like, when we first moved there, it would be like this one couple walking. It's black couple, so we're like, hey, what's up? What do y'all do? They're like, oh, we're Olympic athletes. I was like, we're like, it was a number of Olympic athletes that lived in our neighborhood. If you was black, they was like, oh yeah, we're only here like 6-7 months. We're gone 6-7 months out of the year because we got to go train. I was like, oh, we don't do nothing. I might get on my middle school football team. Like, I'm trying. That was it.
There it is. Hey, Los, tell us what burned your boot at this week, man.
What burned my boot in this week? I don't like long conversations in the locker room / bathroom of the gym. Don't like them. Don't like them. The guy when the second time that stopped me, he was talking to somebody else. I was washing my hands. My pre-workout just kicking in. I'm about to get ready and get it in. And he want to talk about, hey man, ain't gas prices disheartening? Ain't that disheartening? Out the blue. Just out the blue with a towel on. I'm like, oh, all right. I said, yeah, they high as hell. I'm walking. He like, yeah, man. So over there off what street is 506. You go here, it's far. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's crazy. What kind of car you drive? Because I got a truck. I don't like long conversations in the locker room.
You gotta understand, Los, that some people leave their house and they don't have nobody to talk to, and that be they excuse to talk. And I was saying this same thing a couple weeks ago. We went vote. Shout out Fallen Law. Reelected one time. We went to vote, and this old lady just was like coming up to us and kept talking like the voter poll lady.
Yeah,
and I was like, hey, relax. This is the highlight of her week to talk to somebody.
Everybody.
For 4 years, bro. She's talking to people. She's not going to talk to old people.
Okay. Wait. What color was she?
This is an old white lady.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I talk to old black women at the voting polls. If you old and black, I don't care what conversation you got. I'll be like, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Because I'm assuming you fought for this.
Well, she was on the Democratic side, so I figured she... Stop it. You're stupid.
No, that's what I've been thinking.
You marched for this shit.
I'm taking for granted what you fought for. Now, honestly, they could have been born in 1978. I don't know, but yeah, I was like, okay, you fought for this. I'm gonna talk.
The hoses was on them, right?
Yeah. That's different than talking to your towel in the locker room to anybody who walks in.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that, sir. Don't small talk me. You got 2 sentences. 2 sentences. You say something, I rebut. You say something else, I rebut. It's done. We don't know each other. I don't care. I sincerely don't. And this
Good
is
day,
from the bottom
sir.
of my heart. I don't care if you're black, white, orange, green. I'm a friendly person. I make friends all the time. We always talk about the people that have problems making friends and the psychological effects. What about the opposite side? Nigga, leave me alone, okay? That's what's happened to me now. Don't small talk me.
Yeah, but here's the wild thing about that. Like, he said that, and I know it's the truth, but he will still lead with the small talk. He'll let them talk. I be watching him talking to people, and he just be like, yeah. I'm like, dog, this dude has not listened to anything you have said after the first 2 statements, but at least he's polite about it. Like, when he's trying to escape the whole time.
Right. I'm very polite, and I understand. But in my mind, because I don't want to be that rude to be like, nigga, I'll do that if I'm talking to some girl and the dude walks up. Then I'll be like, okay, this is a roastable moment. This is socially acceptable. But I can't, like, I know a specific event you're talking about too. When that one girl was talking to me.
Oh my God!
I was like, I wanted to leave. I wanted to like crawl out of my skin and like just I guess melt and go down the sewer hole because I could not stand it.
She got real hoteppy for a second though. That's when I got up. But she was like, they putting chemicals in the soda, and I was like, all right, I got to get up.
Chemicals. Chemicals. Okay, yeah.
That's all they say is chemicals. I was like, Dr. Pepper got 23 flavors starting out. I don't know what else they putting in there, but she was
23 different chemicals.
They're putting the COVID vaccine, man. Listen, I want to transition to this because I know Devaughn said he about to make his way out there, and I just want to throw out the fact that I've never been to South by Southwest, man, and I know that 2 of y'all is on teacher spring break. I'm kind of teacher adjacent, but what y'all boys doing for y'all teacher spring break right now, man?
I'm gonna hit South by Southwest, and then relax. And the spring break, all teacher holidays are bad for me because you do stuff and then you wake up and it's Sunday and you're just like, damn,
I ain't do nothing.
I wasted that whole week.
It's Wednesday already.
It is.
Hey. That's why I also know that Monday them kids ain't doing nothing because we all got to acclimate back in. I'm like, hey, sit down. Like, sit down. We back. We all wasted our spring break, so let's just relax.
Okay, so South by Southwest sound like you're doing something. What is that normally? I mean, I've never been. Just a music festival where you just you got a room. What you got going on, man?
It's a series of it's basically a whole month. It's like 3.5 weeks. They got a film week, an interactive week, a music week. The music week is the main one that people are talking about. That's the one we're in now. If you want to make money, go to the interactive week. That was last week, but the music week is basically you just have a whole bunch of music conferences. Like everything music related is down there. You can go down there at any level. Like I've been down there just going, which is you're just running around trying to get into stuff. There's nothing like going down there with a badge. If you speak at something or they give you a badge, it's like 2 different classes of people. Like, you can get into events, you can get into bars, you can get into clubs, and I'm not gonna lie, when I went there without a badge, I was like, man, forget these old badge wearing that. I'm like, that's how I was until I got a badge. And then I was looking at them like, oh, excuse me, peasants, could you move out the way so that I can enter? Y'all are lined up. I'm going in. So yeah, it's just a music conference.
Do you have a badge this year?
I have access to it. Oh, that's the other thing too. People going and go, like there are companies that for like in this particular case, companies will pay for somebody to be down there with their badge, but they will just overpay. Like they'll pay for like 2-3 weeks of badges. And then my friend's like, oh dog, I'm leaving. Like, you want my badge? I was like, I'll be down there for a couple of days, so I'll take that.
That's interesting. I'm just going to ask you this before Los, you hop on. I know there's a South by Southwest Education Conference. What is that? Have y'all ever been to
that? I have not had the opportunity, and I find it very interesting, and I'm going to suggest to them that the South by Southwest Education Conference is not on spring break.
Oh, it ain't?
Like, no. The South by Southwest Education Conference.
Well, that's smart. Because teachers like to take time off of work. Stop that.
That is true. Okay. You know, I never thought. I was like, yo, I would actually go if it was on spring break. But basically,
I wouldn't go on spring break.
I feel you.
I don't want shit to do with school on spring break. It's called break. I'm breaking.
Okay, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. Y'all right about that one. That was like 2-3 weeks ago. It usually starts off. The education conference doesn't get as much press, but it's like the education conference leads into the interactive conference, leads into the music conference, then leads into the movie and film conference.
I got you. But that sounds like big shit, big Texas shit. If y'all ever in Texas around this spring break time, y'all check it out. Los, what you doing for spring break?
Man, nothing much, bro. Staying low key, working out, trying to get back in that gym. I might go
talking to niggas in the locker room. Go ahead.
Nah, them boys be talking to me. Relax, bro. Can't stand it. I was hot afterwards, bro.
Hey, you want to hoop tomorrow, Los? You come to the. I went yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw you run them up 1100. What you call it? Yeah, I might go through there. What time? At noon? I might come through there. But yeah, I'm just low key, man. I might go hit some golf balls or something. Go fishing. I ain't really doing that, dog. Chill.
Man, don't that sound like the life, man? Can I do all three of those things? We can hoop. I'll find some time to hit some golf balls or go fishing. You know, fishing is my favorite thing.
Hey, y'all gonna bring y'all kids? They gonna fight?
Nah, bro, we get that man some time to train. Man. Okay. All right. After March 27th, we gonna
that man got like a week to get his stuff together, man. You know what I'm saying? He picking it up slowly but surely, man. He out here, man. Hey, Los, I'm gonna keep it in your hand. I'm gonna let you go ahead on right now, man. Give me your favorite Avery meme of the month, man, if you don't mind.
Favorite Avery meme of the month, man. That man is notorious for his memes, right? So I'm scrolling through, and being that I was a kind of forced wrestling fan, and he got the one with Scott Hall sitting on there with the jewels on, with the white with the shirt, looking like a swole, great value Tony Montana, like one of his little helpers. You know what I'm saying? And he talking this talk, got this toothpick on white. You know what I'm saying? That was my favorite one this week, bro. That man talking this shit. R.I.P. dog.
R.I.P. to Scott Hall. He's the reason why I say H-Town is too sweet.
Too sweet at everything.
He does this. That's why it's interchangeable. So that's why people was like, what is this? Devaughn be like, what's that? I'm like, it's a long story.
I didn't know what the hell you was doing until
he was pledging Zeta. That's what
once you posted that meme, then I was like, oh.
What? U of H.
That man been doing that since the beginning of the podcast. I had no clue.
That's why people be like, oh. I'll be like, yeah, you get it. I'm like, yeah, it's a wrestling thing. I'm a nerd, but it is what it is.
And I mean, we were going to occupy some space at the end of the podcast, but since that's what Lo said, man, we're bringing it right there, man. Look, Razor, you know what I'm saying? Scott Hall, that dude, to me, they got this other meme with him with the black kids. Mm-hmm. That man, he occupies a certain space in black culture and always did. That black people liked Razor Ramon I think it's the same reason we like Tony Montana. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Avery, as the biggest wrestling fan, now I'm not even going front. Like I like to know what's going on in wrestling.
I appreciate that. And but I'm like, that's the thing. Cause he started off kind of like, wrestling tries to be like good guy, bad guy. He kind of blurred the lines. Yeah, he was a bad guy, but when you find out about him, he was a bouncer in life that killed a man, has PTSD behind that, goes to wrestle, coolest guy ever, plays a character on TV that's a jerk when behind the scenes he's really nice. Fell on some hard times, had bad health issues, had bad drug issues, and then redeemed himself. So he has a lot going on in his life, like black folks. And then still being able to become iconic. Like, I mean, come on. We love this dude because of this. Like, the dude, like I said, he killed a man defending himself and had PTSD behind that. And still went on to be able to make
the baby, the man.
The
adult. And I'm just gonna say this as a child. I mean, I watched wrestling avidly as a child. We're gonna get to that in a second. Up until about high school, and I stopped watching in high school. And then around my senior year or senior, whatever year it was, I don't remember. I can't lie. But him walking out the crowd with the NWO, that might have been the biggest thing of my life in wrestling. Like, that was the most interesting thing I've ever watched in wrestling. That was the most interesting thing. I remember people coming to school with the NWO shirts.
Yeah.
And he was the NWO. That was like,
I try to explain that to people, that how big that was, because the internet wasn't there. Like, nobody, like, those guys left WWF and went to WCW and nobody knew. So when they get there and they're like, when Scott Hall comes in and says, "Hey, you know who I am,
but you don't know why I'm here, Chico."
Yeah, you don't know why I'm here. And we're like, what? It was just on. You can't do that. And then even to Devaughn has a friend. Speaking of our neighborhood, Black Excellence, one of his friends he introduced me to as a kid was so cool to me. He was really corny. Because he's Kevin Nash's nephew.
Okay.
He's always got a bunch of shit. And I'm explaining to Devaughn, like, I don't think you understand. Like, his uncle is like he's on the top tier of like, you're looking at, Hulk Hogan. I'm like, he's on the tier either on that or right under that. Like, his uncle is Scott Hall's best friend. He's the shit.
Let's just be honest. He's under that. I don't want to oversell it, because NWO was like my favorite shit, but I think I was in the know. You didn't have to be in the know to know about Hulkamania. Like, you know what I mean? Hulkamania was probably the biggest thing ever in wrestling. Yeah, it's the biggest. And I would say, maybe Dwayne Johnson and Stone Cold Steve Austin probably is like
on that tier.
That tier too. Yeah. NWO is, if they're not right, it's right under. Because the casual,
I think it's right under. Yeah, it's
I think their tier is.
No, if you could be casual and still know about them, because my brother's the biggest wrestling fan I know. Yeah. And he like.
I'm about to say, if I know them, they're top tier. Yeah. Because I go Jake the Snake.
Hold up. This is bringing me up to a big three.
No, because I was saying, once I stop watching wrestling, I just got to know you because you're in a movie.
You got to
stop. Like, there's Hulk Hogan, there's The Rock, there's Stone Cold.
You got to stop.
It's a big three. It's a big three. This is our big three wrestlers of our childhood. Let's go ahead on and throw it around. Let's try to make big three wrestlers of our childhood. And since Devaughn, you want to start with Jake the Snake?
He started.
I'm gonna start. I wasn't naming all my favorite three, but yes, Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake is in there.
He on my list.
Man, Jake the Snake is in there. He's the one. He's one of the ones I remember.
What was the snake's name?
Doug, I don't know.
Jake.
What was Jake?
Nah.
The
snake's name was Damien.
Oh no,
I remember that. I remember he used to walk around like Damien, and he was like had the snake at people.
I just remember that man throwing somebody in a coffin and then throwing a bunch of snakes in there and closing it. And I remember that.
Wow, that's that kind of wow. Los, we're going to go in order of least to most wrestling know-how. So we're going to start with Devaughn. We're going to go to Los, then me, then I'm going to send it to Avery. One day, me and Avery going to have our Black Wrestling podcast. We've already been talking
about it. Oh, if you do that, I got to get my brother on there. He know more about wrestling than all y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, Los, give me your best big three wrestler as your childhood.
Rey Mysterio. That boy's the first boy jumping and twisting off the thing, catching people by the head, flipping them over. I used to like that type of energy. That was my guy, Rey Mysterio.
That makes sense. For me, my first one that comes to mind, Bret Hart. I used to think Bret Hart was actually would hurt people because he would fight like the same. He'd grab your arm and he'd keep hitting your arm the whole match. And then he'd be like, oh man, he must have really broke that boy arm.
Psychology. He had the best ring psychology.
Yeah, Bret Hart, man.
To even go up against your guy, my guy was Shawn Michaels. Hated Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shawn Michaels. I mean, there was a point in time, but yeah, Shawn Michaels.
Awesome dude.
Some people say he the Michael Jordan of wrestling. That's what I've heard.
Some people say that, but at this point, there's
it's what you like, right? Like Devaughn, 20. Back to you. Give me one.
I feel like this is making me seem way older than the rest of y'all.
Go ahead, shoot it.
We're the same man. It's Junkyard Dog.
He's on my list.
Yeah.
He's on my list.
Junkyard on my list too.
He's on my list.
Junkyard Dog. All right. Yeah. All right. Junkyard Dog.
And I don't want to throw out anybody else's other ones, but I say we got to give kudos to those black wrestlers of when we were kids. Because I remember my dad used to be like, "Oh, that Junkyard Dog on Kamala, Coco Beware." They used to be like,
I say my next one, Booker T.
H-Town, H-Town, man.
Booker T.
Yeah,
that's my God.
Hold up, like this.
Yeah,
H-Town's too sweet. H-Town's too sweet. Shout out to Los for wrestling.
Booker T.
Shout out to Booker T for being part of the intro to Bun B's concert. Like they had a big screen. The crowd went wild. It was like Booker T, Earl Campbell. It was like all these sports people.
Earl Campbell can walk out there?
He didn't walk out there. There was a video that they showed in their house at different athletes in different locations.
They had some Earl Campbell
all
sausages.
Like, welcome to the H-Town. Yeah. Earl Campbell, that's what he known for. If Earl Campbell came out throwing sausages, that'd be wild.
And George, he was putting them on the George Foreman grill. So they was doing like the whole H-Town.
Earl Campbell throwing out hot sizzling sausage to a sold out crowd in Energy Stadium. That's good entertainment right there.
That's better than Devin to do passing out joints
on The Simpsons. Crazy.
Booker T is also, for those who know, if you know, you know, the number one wrestling meme of all time. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
I was like, yo. It's funny too seeing him go back and forth on stuff. He be interviewed by white people. Such an ugly word.
Oh yeah.
I cannot believe that I said it. I was like, nigga, you know that's the way you talk.
Yeah, just saying nigga before he walked in there.
So like a real black man.
Yes.
That's why I always like him. I was
awesome
like,
house too. When side note, when I did Uber that year, I was going to pick up somebody from some house. I see the name. Y'all know it. Some of y'all will know the name. I see the name. It's calling me like, hey, you're going to go pick up our friend Marty. The name was Charmel. Put nothing together right there. So then I'm back into this house, and it's a nice house, and I'm chilling. And then I see this garb. All I can see, I don't see no head. All I see is something I said, this looks like a Middle Eastern garb. And then the person opens up the door. And because I'm backed in, they open up the door, and they go, don't be alarmed. I have on makeup. He sits down. It's the damn boogeyman. So I'm sitting there like, yo, it's the boogeyman. He sees in my car, I have an AJ Styles thingy. And he's like, yo, you're a fan. And so we get to talking. And it was kind of funny. I posted and my brother was somewhere. And somebody goes, where's your brother at? And he was like, he's with the boogeyman. Like, I'm like, yo. It was awesome. I got to drop him off at the where the Row was filming at the time, and we got a lot of talking about some wrestlers and racism and wrestling. It was great, but still trying to get him on the podcast. So if you see this,
your black wrestling fix right there. I mean, I think that's an awesome like for a wrestling fan. That's like it's like a goddamn pro athlete hopping in your whip. So I feel that. I would say my next big three wrestler of my childhood was, in the most racist way you could think about it, was Tatanka. I used to think Tatanka was cool, but in retrospect, they had that boy probably wasn't even Native American, if I had to guess. Was running around that thing, tomahawk chopping with the guy. Man,
Puerto Rican.
Oh my God! He got a tan every time he came.
I used to like that.
Let's defer to our expert. Is he Native American?
No.
No, not at all.
No.
Okay. Yeah, well,
Scott Hall was Italian. He was playing a what was that? A Cuban. So no,
wrestling was wild with the stereotypes.
Wow. I be telling people, I say, if you want to go after something, just like they've tried, I say go after wrestling.
Yeah, just like you heard me just say Kamala. Kamala used to have a damn that piece, man. Come on, man. They had us looking mad crazy.
Samoans, all of them.
The crime time. Come on. They had a tag team called Crime Time. Two niggas with do-rags.
Yeah, definitely. They were definitely doing crime though outside of the ring.
But Shark and Gas Bar, but yes.
Yeah.
Crime.
Okay, Avery, back to you. Let's run down these last ones.
This is my second one. Of course, a black person. He's black. I hate when y'all say he's not. He's black. The guy that y'all know now and used to make fun of, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Oh my God. My childhood, man, that dude, like, y'all got him now and that's great. But back when we were a kid, it was like, yo, how are you not the most famous person on the planet. The shit that he did, like, was just so amazing. I mean, how do y'all feel about The Rock?
I just think he's the most
It
charismatic.
doesn't matter how you feel about The Rock. All that matters is The Rock is the greatest wrestler of all time.
That's dope.
That's why he's good. I'm done.
That was dope.
All right, so how do we disconnect Avery?
You put an Al on Al.
You got me. I mean, I guess I have been influenced by The Rock. The way I hit people with that nothing nice to say all the time. I mean, that's influence. Black excellence. Devaughn, give me your last one. Let's run through these last ones.
It's just gonna be Andre the Giant.
Why not?
Why not?
He had more teeth than anybody ever in the history of humanity.
Yeah.
He
And the
drunk
sad
more
part
beers
is
than
the
one
main
city.
thing I remember about him is Hulk Hogan body slamming him.
Yeah,
Which
that's
ain't really
WrestleMania 3.
because we weren't young enough. I mean, old enough to know Andre the Giant when he was gianting people in the 70s with the fro.
Yeah.
So
I mean, his knees was gone by the time we started. His knees was out of there.
They
ain't had no
wheeling that
knees.
man out.
Yeah,
Andre the Giant is like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to me. Like, we didn't get to see Kareem.
I know you were. I know you're good. I know.
I know the record speaks for himself.
I know.
But I don't know.
People,
I didn't see it.
when people question the legacy of Wilt Chamberlain because they're like, you scored so much, and they're like, man, one of them games was on a court outside. Like, I'm not saying you wasn't balling, but like, man, one of y'all games got canceled because there was like a skating rink that was supposed to be happening. Like, so it was a different time. I
was like, you was playing a plumber. The niggas on the other teams were plumbers. That nigga over there was a landscaper. He was a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? He had no job.
The co-shine shoes.
This is back when nobody cared about the NBA. Like, it was like, hey, man, I'm about to get off. Let me shine this last one, and I'm going to get out there at halftime.
Smoking cigarettes on halftime. Lacing up they Chuck Taylors. Have you hooped in Chuck Taylors?
Yeah,
that is
no ankle sport. Los, give me your last one, Los.
Oh, of course, Sting, bro.
I like Sting.
Going with Sting.
Sting on my short list, too.
When Sting used to, remember he came into the ring on the little thing on the zip line? Yeah, I'm rocking with Sting, dog.
Sting is a killer. If I got to end it up, I'm just going to say somebody else. People say it's the GOAT. Why not? When I was a kid, it was either the Undertaker or the Ultimate Warrior. I'm going with the Undertaker. The Undertaker, I mean, I was scared. He was fired. I mean, it's Undertaker, though. He from Texas, too, right?
Another H-Town legend. Went to U of H. Undertaker.
He played ball for U of H, huh? Didn't he hoop?
Yeah, he hooped for U of H. And then you said,
really?
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker played for U of H?
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh, dang.
I would have never thought
that. Yeah, when you talked to, like, before Big Daddy
Big Boy Calloway.
With them eyes.
Our grandfather would go to the Houston Wrestling Alliance, which is really big. And he saw, like, a lot of wrestlers, and he just tell me about it. And I'm over here like, I don't think he realized he saw like everybody. So he would talk about Mean Mark Callis, that was the Undertaker, and I was like, bro, you see everything. But anyway, God rest our grandfather's soul. For this one, this is a special one because what's today's date? Am I dating this? If I do the, can I say the date?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it is
3/16.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
Austin 3/16. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's a good
man. That dude. Whew, that dude raised me.
I don't know which one had the better theme music that I get hyped for. If it was Austin or if it was Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, because both of them used to hit in a certain type of way. That glass break was something serious though.
The glass break, man, still to this day. My goodness.
Okay, so hey,
and he's gonna be at WrestleMania this year too.
This is our wrestling moment. I'm going to leave it with this one other thing that I want y'all, some homework for you to go do. I just followed a wrestler on social media this week. And is Jade Cargill? Listen, bro.
Oh, that bitch Jade. Love her.
Listen, that's, I think, part of her name or something. That's not the views. The views. So she like an IG model type, fitness model type thought thing that turned into a wrestler. But she still keep that IG model / thought thing going. So like on her IG story, she just be like laying in the bed, just looking at the camera and shit. I'm like, well, hold up. You're supposed to be a wrestler. The thing just,
you should see the women in wrestling.
Hey, man.
they hired, I hate when they do this. Black women have had this body style for forever. And all of a sudden, now the Pinks got it. And they hired a pink wrestler that got that body style now in WWE now. And I'm like, and all like my wrestling non-black friends are like, look at her. I'm like, man, I hate when y'all do that. Like,
That's every black woman ever. That's every black woman ever.
That's too much water for me.
That's too much water. Hey, Jay, fine though, boy.
Yeah, she fine, but you're too strong, man.
Oh no, she's a
she'll put you like you want you.
Yeah.
To clear it up, not an IG thought. She's a female bodybuilder. Just happens to look good. She's a female bodybuilder.
Nah,
that's how she got in the rest.
Like I said, she put you like she wants you. I can't have it.
Yeah, I'm scared of her.
Hey, put me like you want me.
Speaking of people,
but I'm still gonna put her on eat or delete this week.
Speaking of people who put you how you want you, I got 3 people that I need to hit up, and we're gonna hit them up, and then we're gonna get out of here because I know we all got stuff to do. We're recording early today. First and foremost, Deshaun Watson, and I hate that that's the segue that I use. But
put you how you want you.
That is a crazy segue, but go ahead.
No, he did it on purpose.
Hey man, will folks forgive and forget? That's what like it. How soon would it not even matter? Because my whole thought about it is, go ahead, Los.
If he ball out, people will soon forget. You got to play good. If you play good, they forget. If you don't, they keep piling on. But you got to play good. You got to. So
Devaughn was hitting this thing about the allegations that they're like 22 sexual assault allegations, and then I heard somebody else say it wasn't. It was like 2. Like the rest of them were. I mean. They were like sexual misconduct, like pulling his woman out in front of people, right? Like that's bad, right? But it's not penetrating somebody against their will, right? I think that they said it's 2 allegations that are like actually he physically touched someone else. I think they said the other 20 of them were just him being inappropriate, him being nasty. But I could be wrong about that. Devaughn, I said we were going to call on your legal expertise. Speak to
again, I don't know about that. What I do know is they took it to grand jury. They went there with 10 charges. We're talking about 10 different individuals. They only got through 9. They just didn't even go forward with the 10. The grand jury is to make sure we have enough evidence to go to trial. And if people have paid attention to a number of, a lot of times when there are like shooting cases, like where a cop shoots a black person or something like that, then they take it to the grand jury and they don't move forward. The major complaint is like, yo, you can get a grand jury to indict like a ham sandwich. Like you don't need a lot of evidence to at least go to trial. It's like, yo, do we have all these points? And then y'all go to court and prove it. So it is kind of telling that it's like they came here and since the beginning of this, one side has been like, we have all this evidence. And the other side has been like, okay, show us. They're like, we'll show you a trial. And they kept saying that, and then they went to the grand jury, and the grand jury was like, you ain't got no evidence. There's not enough to go forward on criminal charges, at least right now, because this is just grand jury. The prosecution can go back and do more investigation and bring it up again. But they are moving forward on civil. Civil is a lot lower.
That's how they want it
is just
anyway.
like, hey, man, like that's money damages. Criminal is like this is life. Like you might go to jail. You might like, you know what I'm saying? There are going to be serious consequences. I don't really know what to make of this case, except for the fact one side definitely like held strong. Deshaun Watson's side was just like, look, y'all ain't got no evidence. And when we get to court, you're going to see that we don't have evidence because a lot of these incidents that you're talking about were consensual. His thing has never been, oh, this didn't happen all the way with all of these women. Some of these is like, yeah, I did it. It was consensual. Sometimes I mess with my, like the people that massage me. It is what it is. That's kind of been his stance the whole time. So I'm interested in seeing what comes out in civil, because civil trial can get a little messier too. They can pull out all this extra evidence and things like that.
I think that the point that you were making earlier that I find interesting, right? And these are some of these deep societal issues that I think that we don't want to sound like we're on the wrong side of these things. Because, women oftentimes don't get heard and don't get their fair shake in a lot of these things. If we have little girls, one day that, they might be in a situation where you got to have their back and you got to be like, you can't have predatory men out here. But then the other part of it is that we also live in a society where we black men, and we understand how quick it is to vilify a black man for things. I'm not going to use Deshaun Watson as the test case for wrongly accused black men. I'm not. I just don't think he's wrongly accused in such a way. I think he was doing some barely legal, frisky type of things, and he was pushing the envelope, and he was wilding, and he was thinking that they're gonna do it because I'm Deshaun Watson, and that's. But I don't know that for a fact. What I hate is that how everyone is kind of like on some. Oh my God! First and foremost, he's disgusting. His allergies, whatever. Because I'm like, come on, bro. Like, don't lump him in with everybody else who's ever done sexual. I don't think it's all the same. It's kind of my whole point.
It's what we were talking about before, and I was saying I had a conversation with. It was another professional. We were talking about a number of things, but Travis Scott and Deshaun Watson came up at two separate points in the conversation. And it is always interesting to me how there is a group of people that when a black man does something or is accused of anything, the punishment is death. I don't care what. I was like, dog, these are two wildly different situations. And I am a very big, like, rape needs to be taken a lot more seriously and the punishment needs to be at a much higher rate than it is, because that's how you get people to stop raping. However, at the accusation level, you're looking at a rape case and you're looking at this convoluted concert case, and on both of these, y'all are like, yeah, they need to die. You're like, we could at least go to trial and find out what's happening, especially when you have, I would say on Deshaun's case, and it looks like Travis' case is going to be the same, where it's like, let's just go to court. Go to court and prove that I am wrong. And if you prove that I am wrong, okay. But we do need to go to court. With a certain group of people, that court thing just go out the window.
Yeah.
Like when it's like, yeah. Once it's us, it's like, oh no, we don't need to. And I said, oh, this is y'all. If this was 100 years ago, y'all the lynch mob.
Yeah.
Like y'all the ones that's like, let's go to court, pull them out the court, because I know what's right and what's wrong, and the court ain't gonna handle this right. And that's wild to me.
Like, there's self-defense murder, right? There's people who go into someone's house and kill them, like, just indiscriminately. There's a revenge thing with, like, you walk in and you catch you. There's police shootings who shoot people, whatever. Do we say all of these murderers are the same? No, we don't. We look at different situations on a different situation. And that's kind of why I look at the Deshaun Watson thing. We, way back in the day, years ago when the allegations first happened, we laughed, we joked, and we read some of the allegations on the podcast. Some of the allegations were that he was erect when somebody came into the room to give him a massage, and he came. Like, and some of it got on somebody, and she ran out the room and was like, he's disgusting. That is disgusting.
Yeah.
It isn't the same thing as, like, our boy that we know, Devaughn, who got in trouble for taking, like, come on, man. It's not the same thing. Yeah. Like, that is not.
It's still wild, but it's not that.
I am wondering, it's not that. Is he going to be treated in the same? I find it very interesting that a year ago, people were calling for not the death. They were just calling for the disappearance of Louis C.K. And now you see Louis C.K. making a very gradual comeback. I have friends, women, that were like in the comedy community that were very much against Louis C.K. And now it's like, I want to see what he's doing on the comedy.
It's the same allegation, right? Wasn't he just exposing himself and stuff?
Exactly. I was like, these are two weird dudes. And there's no getting around it. Like, they need to be punished for whatever it is. Doug, coming on somebody is wild. Like, I don't care what it is. Like, that's wild. That's disrespectful.
It's wild. It's wild.
But with all of this, we're talking about non-consensual. non-consensual, because you only did that to a woman. Because if it was a dude that came in and happened, you'd be dead. Like a dude would kill somebody for less.
People do it on the. We've heard stories about people on the subway coming on people though too. Like I mean, but that's you being wild as shit.
Yeah.
Like
that's the level of what the two of them are doing. And I understand a hit to your career and things like that, but it's like, okay, well, this is not a new behavior, and we already have a punishment for this behavior.
Yeah.
So let's go and take care of that. But for one side, and I would say for one legal side to frame this as, we're not going to say rape, but we're going to present this in a way where it seems like he raped 20 women.
Because that's the point, right?
That is a much different, and the media kind of bit onto that. Because I also know, like, Deshaun was, the grand jury said, hey, nothing's happening. And that was like one day. One day the media went, oh, y'all, Deshaun not going to trial. All right, moving on.
No, it was like, hey, this contract? You want to come play for the Saints? Like
that kind of thing. And it was immediate. Now all the news is like, well, how long are the Texans going to hold him for a trade so he can go to this team? Yeah. Now it's all these teams popping up. And it's kind of like, it is that thing where it's like, all right, well, so to answer your original question, how long will it take? If he come out and ball, he's good.
Yeah.
He come out and ball, it's going to be like, hey, yeah. I mean, he has an interesting past.
He got to go Kobe. You got to go Kobe Bryant with your old lady waiting in the huddle for you at halftime. Yeah. You got to go full Kobe. At least for a couple of years.
I mean, if Mike Vick could go to jail, but I mean, I think about Michael Vick too. It always comes up in these situations because it's always this idea of, was the act as egregious or true or whatever it is to get you into that situation. And then you could always see that how Michael Vick kind of came full circle to where now he's doing Sunday Night Football and talking on TV and whatever. Yeah. At the time, it was like we were never going to see Michael Vick again, right? He's going to jail forever and we're never going to see him again.
And he was another one where people were asking for
hang
death.
him up.
They were asking for death. And it's like,
who were these people that were asking for his death?
Oh no, we're talking about white people.
We're talking about Dwight Howard.
And my other thing about that is, it's that thing where it's like, look, this man carried my fantasy team for a few years, but Big Ben Roethlisberger, they let that go.
They say he took that one in the bathroom drunk. Like, I remember that.
And he did like 2 or 3 times too, though.
And I don't remember dude even stopping playing for a significant amount of time.
Like, he got a 6-game suspension. The collective bargaining agreement brought it down to 3. He served 3 games.
Exactly.
That's what I remember. It was
sat out.
He got a game per rape.
And came back. And it's one of those things where it's like, you even see the response.
He said it worked it too.
If you bring up,
no, you can't say the views.
You can't say that.
The views.
I said what he said.
Oh,
I didn't say that. He said.
Here's my thing: if you bring up that situation around a certain group of people, they gloss over that so quickly. I'm like, wait a minute, you want to hang this man for being erect when somebody comes in the room, and this dude raped women.
But he saved.
Both of them deserve punishment. Do both of them deserve the same punishment? And why are you asking for death for him? But him, you're like, boys will be boys. And I'm like,
well, we have to look at ourselves and figure out who, like Avery said, who are these people? Like, what are their motives? Like, it's in much the same way. Why are these people talking about Jussie Smollett need to go to jail for 5 months for lying to the police about this hate crime? In one of our text groups, there was a heated discussion from one of our homeboys who kept making a comparison to fake rape allegations to Jussie Smollett doing the fake hate crime. And I just don't see those two things as equal. He didn't say, like, this person beat me up. He said, oh, it was just MAGA dudes. Like, if a woman said, hey, some random people raped me and didn't accuse anybody, then I think that would be the same thing. Then, like, because
he didn't name 2 people where they going to jail and could go. You know,
this ain't the Duke lacrosse. This ain't the Duke lacrosse where them women was trying to get them boys lit up. Like black women. You know what I mean? White boys.
I think if he had to say something early on, nothing really would have happened. But this is Chicago fighting him. Like this was definitely oh no, we got to do something. And I thought he probably gonna be in there like a month, maybe 2. He gonna pop out. First off, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Per allegation,
my man is I never out of that family because it's a family of actors and actresses. I loved his sister in
Lovecraft.
Oh,
in Full House.
No, hands down. Great acting family. My man was shown because here's the other thing. I believe that he knows that he's lying. My man is a fantastic actor because when he gave that speech when they were pulling him out the courtroom, I was like, yo, this dude gonna be something when he get out. So hopefully he get with a good publicist and at the end of this 2 months he come out. This honestly shouldn't even this is like a goofy story. It shouldn't have as much attention as it is paid to it. But I'm sorry, there's a lot of intersection with the blackness. Like white people are mad that a black person accused white people because that's what when we said MAGA, they was like, you knew it was us. I was like, no, there are black MAGA people.
Could have been Kanye.
Maybe he was talking about Kanye. I said that could have been they was in Chicago. It could have been Ye.
All signs point to Kanye.
It could have been Ye and it could have been Ye and Impossible. I think
they saw the Yeezy blueprints.
The description he gave was Ye. Like I was like, so they had on boots, they had on a mask, they had on a weird leather jacket. There was holes in the pants for no reason.
Didn't he say they threw some? Didn't he say they had a bottle and threw some cum on him? It might have been Ye in Deshaun Watson.
He said, no, it wasn't car. I thought he said lighter fluid. What did he say he threw on him?
No, I thought it.
It was bleach. It was bleach.
It was bleach. And gave him a noose, which was wild because he was still wearing the noose. Look,
when the people came, when the cops came,
don't take it out.
Like it was evidence. Because my thing,
he was probably just laid out across the bed, just like in a very actor-esque.
But my thing is, why wear it? Like the noose is the evidence. Like you could have taken the noose off and been like, "Hey, that's what they put on me."
It sounds like a wild night to me.
All the rest of the stuff is, it's terrible. The fact that he left to go out in Chicago and a record-breaking storm night to get Subway.
Hey, that was a red flag. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Not what he was doing. He was going to get a foot long. They just
misconstrued.
If he had a good PR agent, if he had a good PR agent, that's when you link with Subway. With first thing you get out of prison, Subway should be there with cameras. Like no press is bad press.
Eat fresh.
Man was going to eat fresh.
Oh my God, Lord.
Man said he wanted that 6-inch.
That boy thought it was Sonic. He didn't know it was Sonic. He thought it was Sonic. We'll get the Michelin long Coney.
Okay, now what you're doing? Now what you're doing, Los?
And you know they ain't even got Sonic up there.
Yeah.
There ain't no Sonic up there.
There's a fine line between subtlety and humor, Los, and overt foolishness.
He wanted some arrows, but he wasn't going to get no chicken.
That is a much better innuendo. That's a much better innuendo right there. Yeah, and you related it to the region,
the Chicago thing. Yeah,
Arrow Wings. I love it. Is hands down that mumbo sauce.
That was
what I mean. That's what you got to do.
They said they threw some mumbo sauce on him. Anyway,
that's what he's saying.
Man.
Anyway, people are very invested in him going to jail or being punished in much the same way Deshaun Watson, because people don't like, they always kind of throw this reverse thing and they throw out terms like race card and all the rest of these things. And it just becomes these bigger issues of black men who, honestly, in most of these cases probably did the wrong thing. That we as black men have to not defend their actions, but defend their right to a fair legal outcome that. Because if they don't get one, then we ain't gonna get one. And I think that that if we harken way back to when I was in the 7th grade, 8th grade, whatever it was, with OJ, I think that at its core, that's what we were always thinking. It's not about OJ Simpson. He's not the person that we want carrying the flag for black men being treated unfairly. But you know what I mean? We want to make sure that he gets a fair trial and all of that. And I want to end it with just this last thing. Kanye been on his bullshit for so long over these last couple of weeks. And I saw a quote the other day that said this, and I just thought that this was a very interesting quote. It said, Kanye does this thing where he highlights big, complex, and true topics that pertain to race and gender within the culture. But then he centers himself at the forefront as if he's a martyr and not just a dude arguing with his baby mama. And that was a repost from like the Jasmine brand. And
that is so accurate. I would say I have been on multiple podcasts. My brother's been on, years ago. I enjoy Kanye's music. Kanye has never been a political thinker or a thinker of a lot of thought. From the moment I know people like to do that. He stood up on that telethon and said George Bush doesn't care about black people. Mm-hmm. That was the most impulsive thing. And you saw immediately afterwards, there was no follow-up. There was no carryover. He spouts thoughts and then he just moves on. And more power to him. He makes his money, he gets that. But if you're following Kanye for his deep thoughts, you're not going to get him. Like, he throws out these very complex ideas or what he thinks is a complex idea and moves on. And like I said, he used it to center himself. Kanye only rant when he got an album coming out. Kanye only rant when something's about to happen. Like, now it's he's got this Donda 2 album out. Now it's My Baby Mother is Horrible. I was like, God, people told you your baby mother was horrible a long time ago. And honestly, nobody really think this woman's horrible. We think y'all deserve each other.
Big.
We think that y'all are in a situation where it's like,
I think she grew up
an attention whore and she is an attention whore, and we just watching y'all get attention. The only winner out of this is Pete Davidson.
Yes,
definitely.
He has a career now,
developing probably one of the highest paid comedy Like, when Pete Davidson comes out of this, I know he just gonna walk over to Netflix and be like, "Hey, I have been quiet this whole time. I would like $1 million to talk about what has happened to me over the last year." And I'm hoping, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen because nobody thinks Pete Davidson's going to marry Kim Kardashian. He going to wind up talking about both of them. And he's like, Kanye crazy, Kim crazy, and here was my last year with the both of them.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be right there in Netflix.
I hadn't even really thought about that angle.
Call it Keeping Up with the Davidsons, Pete.
If he did that, because we are talking about a man that makes fun of the fact that his father died at 9/11 as a fighter. That's how he has built his career. This man ain't worried about a rapper yelling at him about. This is funny to him.
Well,
so
if you know what's hilarious too,
go ahead
with the Kanye thing, how the stands are. Because I put a minute ago where I was like, "Yo, he is harassing his baby mama." People was like, "No, he's not." I was like, "You just like Kanye." Or even with the old, like, he comes at Pete Davidson, "Pete, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you, Pete. Pete, I'm gonna kill you." Pete goes, "I'm in the bed with your wife," and that's what the reports. Did y'all read everything that went on? I said, that's like a nigga like, "I'm gonna knock you out," and he'd be like, "All right, do it then, brother. We need to talk." No, keep that same energy. And that's why I respect Pete Davidson.
Also, in the rap community, there's certain rappers that I don't care how popular you get. Stop acting. Nobody is afraid of Kanye West.
No, nobody.
Nobody since the beginning of time. My suburban ass is not afraid of Kanye West. Kanye West, I don't know what goons Kanye West could run up on me with. Farnsworth Bentley? Like, who's coming up with Kanye to
I'm more scared of Farnsworth Bentley than Kanye West.
Yeah, at least I feel like Farnsworth Bentley got a real story. Like, I was like, yo, he might be able to fight. Kanye can't fight. I don't understand.
You don't have to be able to fight. You know, scary people do
you.
scary things. And if you're around like other people who want to be in a position, he could put people in a position. The only person that I'm less scared of around him is your boy Kid Cudi. I think I could beat Kid Cudi up before I could beat Kanye. But listening to the whole scenario, I just kind of want to come back to it.
Kid Cudi might be able to fight.
He might have some hands.
In a fight between Kid Cudi and Kanye, I'm putting my money on Kid Cudi.
Yeah, all day long.
Kanye, I think Kanye might be able to grab him. Anyway,
that's it. But once he get hit in the face, it's over.
Okay. Kanye. No, he got a metal jaw. He will break the dude's head. Anyway, the point I'm getting at is I watched this documentary, the Kanye documentary on Netflix. That them boys, shout out to them boys. More power to them boys for getting money for it. It really shined a light on the mental illness that is going on with Kanye West. Like, people talk about it and say it in passing and whatever. That dude, like, when he said my brain is too big for my skull and that's why I had to be committed. Well, no, you don't commit people who are sane. Like, that's not, like, the courts won't allow it. Like, you don't get to just commit people just to do it. Like, there has to be a mental break happening there. All of that to say, I wholeheartedly agree with y'all that he is after this dude. And there are so many black men, specifically. I've been at war beefing with one of my homeboys about this for the better part of a week, who really act like Kanye is speaking for them. Like, oh man, these women do this stuff with these kids and they don't let their father see these kids. And I just be like, in much the same way I said earlier, Deshaun Watson ain't my, O.J. Simpson ain't my person I'm going to hold up to say this is why black men are getting treated bad. Kanye West is not the person I'm going to say is the role model for why black fathers are not.
For black baby daddies.
He is not. That is not the situation. I will never ride with a black man who's sitting over there just shitting on the next dude who with his ex, shitting on the mama, walling on him in public forums, doing all kind of sending flowers to just crazy shit, and then saying I'm being wronged. No, there is a legal system that is here. And he can say all day that we supposed to have joint custody and quotes and why my kids couldn't come to church with me at Sunday service. He can say all of that. But if he legally had a ground to stand on, then he would just call the police and it would be taken up in civil court and he would get in trouble. She would get in trouble. So evidently, she is not obligated to do that. So why, like, you are sitting here on some what you think your rights are versus what you think is right. And I think that when you divorce all them, like Los said it best, that man ain't carried that baby. Like,
that baby way more hers than yours when you get divorced, bro. You ain't there to live with her. That baby way more hers than yours.
Yeah, well, neither did Kim. Well, now we're talking about what she did.
That is
one or two of them
in the court system, because people will be like, "Oh, the woman in most cases carries the baby," and a lot of times the way our world in America is set up, the woman is usually taking care of the baby more so when y'all was together, and now it's like y'all separated.
When you moved to Wyoming, she was taking care of the kids.
Exactly. And my thing is, when you see Kanye, I see the other dude, like the number one thing you see now, you see dudes that complain about the court system and things like that. And most women's response is go to court. A lot of these dudes don't go to court, or like you didn't show up at court, you didn't get a lawyer, you didn't fight for your kid at all.
Devaughn,
you have no preparation.
Let me put a pin in that, because that has been my biggest thing right there. I think that I'm not going to say 100%, but most all of the men that I know who have a divorce situation, who have they're not with the baby mama no more in a custody thing, those who fought super hard for their kids right when it happened,
what they want.
Got 50.
Get what you want.
Got what they want.
Get what you want. Yeah,
they got what they wanted. If you're going to be lax about, and we're talking about raising a child, if you're going to go half-assed at trying to get your child,
that's what you get.
The court, and yes, I know the court system is skewed towards a certain direction. So if you know that, go get an attorney and say this, and this. Document all this stuff, and then just go ahead and move forward. Because you'll find that when you go with that stuff, it gets markedly easier fighting. But why would you go up against a rigged system? And then a lot of these dudes be like, well, I give up. Did you go to court? No, I didn't even show up.
See, that's
I
show off.
My homeboy got his kids back from his baby mama, got full custody of all 3 of them on his own. Literally just showed up in court. Hey, this is what happened. This is what happened. This. Judge was like, all right, well, you are obviously the better candidate for the child, and went forward. So it is one of those things where it's like, take some kind of ownership and move forward. And if you want your kid, get your kid. If you a single man, right now you broke up with your wife has the kids, all that other kind of stuff, you on your own, dog, have a space for your kid. It's something when you go to court and they're like, so you live in a 1-bedroom, and your child's supposed to visit you, or what I need a 2-bedroom for? He don't live with me.
Okay.
Your wife has a 2-bedroom.
Thank you, sir.
Your ex got a room.
Say less, sir. Say less.
It's not even gonna go that far. They're gonna say, okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, it's just meetings. You don't even have to go in front of a judge. You be at the AG's office in a little back room. You and her having a conversation about whoop-de-whoop or whatever. Before you even get to court, it's a conversation to have with you. You know what I mean? And then you okay, what do you want? Okay, this is what they say. What do you need? What do you need? And you can kind of hash it out then before you have to go get a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But you got to show up though.
That stuff. And we're in Texas. Texas is very, I don't care what anybody say, Texas is lax on dudes and child. I got friends that are attorneys that one of my friends dealt with. It was an athlete that was getting traded from Texas to another market. They were fighting hard to stay here in Texas. It was a difference between child support here in Texas and child support that was 10 times as much as the amount that they were giving in Texas. So when dudes in Texas get to complain about, like, you can call up child support office the same way you call up like student loans and be like, look, this is what I got. Like, I got this.
You're right.
Let's go ahead and move
They
forward.
don't get you on the back end in Texas. They let you drown yourself out here.
Oh, yeah, they will.
I know a couple dudes down there drown. That boy had to go get a loan to get out that water.
Exactly. So it's like Texas will let. So I'm like, my thing is, you can make this work. You just got to actually want your kid.
That's all
beyond, I just want my kid.
I think
you got to want your kid and want to take care of it.
The Kanye thing, though, it strikes a chord with me, and I've talked to, I can empathize with this situation here. Because to me, it ain't about anything we're talking about. What we have started kind of pivoted to was talking about the deep societal issue behind custody. Kanye West wants his ex back, doesn't want her to tell him what to do, he wants to control. He wants his kids when he wants his kids, and he don't have any respect for the legal system or for her, her dude. Like he wilding, dog. Like Pete Davidson got every right to slap shit out him. Like period.
And in a fight between Pete Davidson and Kanye, I put my money on Pete Davidson.
I put all my money.
And I don't think Pete Davidson can fight.
Now, also, he'll be what did crack or something? Huh? He's strong.
I just want to know
for real.
Who's the marketing company?
Fentanyl.
Or the PR agency that's getting all of Kanye's Kim Kardashian lookalikes. Oh, because the man has one like every week now.
Hey man,
like it's a new girl, and they always come forward like, "Here's what you need to know about me." I'm like, "Nah, we don't need to know nothing about you, dog." Like, we know Kim Kardashian.
I think he's been mass producing them when he started making the Yeezys. Like he started making them. He got it somewhere where there's a bunch of them, and they make them and let them heal and he can make them like he want to make them.
You could order them off of StockX.
Yeah,
you can make the argument that Kim K was just was just a bad copy of a black woman, and now he's just making copies of copies of copies.
But he figured out what he did wrong. He figured out what he did wrong.
But they all look a little,
diluted,
a little off. I was like, oh, you should go back to the original.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
You gotta keep playing with that potion until you get it right. The first time you made spaghetti, it didn't taste like your grandma's spaghetti did. You had to keep cooking.
You gotta keep on going back. So he's just gonna keep on throwing spaghetti.
You gotta get the recipe.
What's funny too is how he talks about how he wants his kids and how he raises them. And I don't know these people personally, but there's stuff that people say that sticks out in my brain. Like y'all are talking about real stuff. Kanye talk about how he raises his kids. His friend, I don't know if they're friends still anymore. I remember the one time Jay-Z was on The Breakfast Club. and Angela Yee was like, when he first had kids and they had the twins, and he goes, Angela Yee was like, so do you get up in the morning or in the middle of the night and raise your kids? Mm-hmm. And Jay-Z, forgetting where he was at, turns to Angela Yee and goes, don't you understand I got an army? And then Charlamagne catches it. She goes, so you don't mess with your kids? Oh, yeah. I was like, no, you don't, nigga. Yeah. No, you don't.
He said it goes through a lot of people before it comes down to him.
Before I don't get up, and that's the way I feel about when they're like, oh yeah, well, while you know, when Devaughn was like, oh, when you were in Wyoming, Kim was raising that kid. No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she was. You're right. Yeah. You're right.
I mean, look, he raps about it in songs.
She was sleeping at that house. She was sleeping at that house
more than him.
Yeah.
The nannies were, nigga.
My thing is, he raps about it in song, like, oh, you got all these nannies taking care of the kids. But I'm like, do you think we believe that it's any different when the kids are in your house?
Yeah.
Like, do we think, as much of an attention person as you are, do we really believe that you are out here just on your own, just
changing
jet setting, you doing all this stuff? Of course, you're a billionaire and you make money as yourself as this industry. I seriously doubt that you have the luxury of paying a lot of people to watch your kids. It just is what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
you're blessed.
The Kanye debate could go on, and I mean, we could have it, but I know we all got some things to do. We all got to get to moving. But listen, you know, every month, middle of the month, the Ides of the month, we bring in them boys from In My Humble Opinion. So definitely we appreciate y'all. We got to get some interim work going on between now and the next time. So let's make it a thing. But, you know, until the next time, y'all have a great weekend. Make it the best friend weekend.
Humbly yours.
And we out.
Jesus.
Man said Jesus.
God damn, I can't even find the stop button, but I can edit that part out. Let me see where. Okay.
You're not going to edit this part. This part
I don't think you're going to edit that part out. This is good part. This is good stuff.
No.
Did you take your glasses off to see?